Yeah, a beautiful morning to you out there. Welcome into the program Economy Today, reaching you live from Impact Business Radio, Ibr92.5 FM. My name is Bright Richard. The program Economy Today is a program designed to give you updates on business, economic policy and related issues, how it affects the Nigeria business and social life. And on this program, we'll have three major segments. We have the first segment where we look at the business news and the business updates, which we take from the national dailies. Then also we have the second segment where we also review or discuss some policies and some economic changes, how it affects the Nigeria business world. Then also the third segment is a segment where we have a feedback where you, our listeners, will contribute to whatever the discussion may be, and you can always do that through the phone lines. You can call any of the studio lines on 091 610 47698, or you can call 081 1052 6487, or you can call 09022 809257. So quickly we'll go to our first segment of the program where we'll look at some business news from some of our national dailies. And first on our list we have that coming from the Premium Times. Nigeria airline back off after threatening to halt operations. Dana Eric Aero reject planned operations shut down. Resident lament as fuel queues resurface in Abuja. Ibom Air disagrees with other airlines to continue operation. Then still from the Premium Times, we have no approval yet for phones rate increase that's coming from the NCC. Aviation Minister, Consumer Agency react as Nigeria Airlines threaten shutdown. Then also from the Premium Times, we have MTN yet to reactivate 7.5 million lines weeks after receiving NIN. Then also Naira gain at official market. Then also we have price of petrol in Nigeria is 8th cheapest in the world. That's a report coming from one of the report from the Premium Times. Then also we have global food prices slightly down in April. Then lastly I'll take from the Premium Times, we have Buhari government approves electricity tariff increase without informing Nigerians. Then next, without wasting much time, we'll be looking at the cable newspaper. We'll be taking some business stories there. We have federal government promise urgent intervention. Airline operators suspend planned shutdown. Then also we have airline strike. Air Peace announced suspension of all domestic regional flights. Then also we have federal government approved 3.3 billion Sukuk fund for rehabilitation of Noma Jalingo Road. Then also from the cable newspaper, we have Unity Bank announced profit rise to 3.33 billion naira. Then also lastly we'll pick from the Premium Times, we have the FCCPC to airlines. It will be exploitation to suspend services after selling flight tickets. Said it will be exploitation to suspend services after selling ticket. The FCCPC is the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission. Then lastly, from our business stories, we'll be taking that from the Punch newspaper. We have federal government bans on crypto. Twitter cripple Nigeria's FDI. That's a report. Then also we have firm seeks support for Lagos tourism. Then we have the JETA. Airlines suspends flights shut down. Rep to meet domestic operators. Then also we have Nigeria loses 1.22 billion to deficit oil production. That's a special report. Then also we have aviation worker begins 2 days warning strike over poor welfare. Then also from the Punch we have Naira slumps to 595 Naira per dollar. That's a forex shortage as forex shortage lingers. Then also we have integrity must drive real estate development. That's a report coming from an expert. Then we have Fidelity Bank plans 35,000 dividend payment. Then lastly we take from the Premium Times, we have fuel pump price jumps by 91% in 6 years. So next we'll be going to the Nigeria stock market. We'll be looking at the top losers and the top gainers from the Nigeria Stock Exchange. And first on our list, we're looking at the top gainers from the Nigeria stock market. First, I have Caviton Offshore, which is selling its stock at 1 naira 32 kobo. We have Champions Brewery selling its at 3 naira 34 kobo. We have Len Africa PLC selling at 2 naira 35 kobo. We have International Brewery, we have Cabri, we have University Press PLC, we have Academic Press, we have Jais Bank PLC, we have Mutual Benefit, Linkage Assurance, and a whole lot of others as the top gainers from the Nigeria stock market. Quickly we'll look at the top losers. From the list of the top losers from the Nigeria stock market, we have Living Trust Mortgage, we have Ikeja Hotel PLC, we have Unity Bank PLC, we have NASCOM Allied Industries, we have Honeywell Flour PLC, we have Sterling Bank PLC, we have the NPF Microfinance, we have Vitaphone PLC, we have Access Holdings, Guaranteed Trust Holdings. These make the list of the top losers from the Nigeria stock market. And next we'll be looking at the exchange rates. From the exchange rate, we'll be looking at few currencies. The dollar has been exchanged to the naira at 414 naira. That's for the buying side, and it's being sold at 415 naira. And the pounds is selling at 512 naira and is buying at 513 naira. The euro is selling at 438 naira and is selling at 439 naira. This is a central bank official rate. That's all we'll take from this segment. We'll quickly move on to the next segment of the program. It was over the news last week that the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators of Nigeria, the ATON, has asked for an upward review in voice calls, short message service, which is called SMS, and data calls. They said this in a letter addressed to the Nigeria Communication Commission, citing the rising cost of running their business. According to them, they are proposing an upward review of the price of calls, which will increase from 6 naira 4 kobo to 8 naira 95 kobo, which the price for SMS, which is a short message service, is an upward review from 4 naira to 5 naira 61 kobo. The group said that the increase in energy costs, increasing their operation expenses by 35%. So based on that, the high cost of energy, they are proposing to the NCC for a review of the prices of their services. But I want Nigerians, or I want us to go to some information and get some update about the Nigeria telecommunication business. According to a report from in the year 2017, the mobile communication industry created over 500,000 jobs, and it has a contribution of about $21 billion to the Nigeria GDP. That was a very huge one, and that was a very impressive turnout from that particular report. And that will push us to the question: is the Nigeria telecommunication industry actually that broke, or is it really being affected by this high cost in energy? Then also from a development stories, I'll just pick a few keys here. MTN Group sells down stake in MTN Nigeria to 75.6%. Then also there's a report here to the federal government approves funding for a second satellite, which is NICOMSat 2. Then I'll pick a few here. If the government approves 328 billion loan to complete national backbone project. Then also government pledges to deploy 18,000 kilometers of fiber to extend broadband to rural areas. Then also reports update increase the regulatory market data to December 2021, operator data to fourth quarter 2021. I think I'm trying to get some of government involvement in this telecommunication industry, and for us to really find out if truly government is funding them, and why should they now come up with a proposal for an increment by 40% of their tariff. I have with me in the studio is a legal practitioner, is also a public affairs analyst, and also is economics. Sir, I welcome you to the program Economy Today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me in the studio this morning.
Yeah, if time is really fast spent on the program, but I just want to hear your view, because the Nigeria Communication, the NCC, is an agency saddled with the responsibility to regulate some of the activities of this telecommunication, and with them now is a proposal for an increment in the price of voice call, data, and SMS. But I want to ask, because most of us use phones and we are aware of different tariffs, and if we are to look at it, I have not really seen if there is a tariff that is as cheap as the 6 naira they said they charge, because they said actually the current price is 6 naira 4 kobo, and if you have to divide that into seconds, you'll be getting less than 6 kobo per second. So is there any tariff that is that cheap? And also, what they as a legal practitioner, their proposal, is it backed up by the law, or what was your take on it, sir?
Okay, as regards the first question about whether there's any core rate that is as cheaper as what they have quoted
Yeah.
as the initial price or cost of call per minute. I think because there is a regulator, which is one of the major business of government and business of being business. So there's possibility there is price ceiling. There should be minimum. At times you have minimum. We call this price flooring at times, price floor, and so if they are within the price fixed,
Like that of the PMS, that there's a price cap that it might be between this price.
Exactly.
Okay.
So once they are operating within that, the regulator, which is the Nigeria Communication Commission now, they will not have problem with them. So that is settled as regards that.
Because if you go by that 6 naira 40 kobo, that should be about 10 kobo per second. And I can remember there are some network providers that charge as high as 24 kobo per second.
Yes,
So,
and don't forget that they also try to do different segmentation. Like if you are on some packages, you actually pay as low as 10 kobo
per second.
Yes, per second.
So that means this particular price cap is for the lowest. So that means some people might even pay up to 40 kobo per second if this proposal has been approved.
Yes, it's the lowest, and the consumers will also need to always search for information as it is expected. A rational consumer is supposed to maximize his last kobo on whatever he's spending on. So I expected the consumers to behave rationally and always investigate the one that is lowest and how to also minimize their own cost of communication within the ambit of what is available, whether in form of policy or in form of law.
Now let me ask you this question, sir, because according to the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, as of June 2019, this telecommunication industry, they have a total number of 422.6 million internet subscribers. That's one aspect, because they spotted 3 services. That's the SMS,
Yes.
the short message service, the data,
Yes.
and also the voice call.
Yes.
But for the data, they have over 122.6 million subscribers.
Okay.
Now, I am looking at it from this perspective. 2017, they were contributing over $21 billion dollars to the Nigeria economy. That's huge. Do you really think the hike in the energy cost is truly affecting these people to the extent that they want to consider their price tariff based on the money we assume they are making?
Of course, the reason why they are actually trying to increase, like you will observe, it's not only the telecom sector alone, even the aviation sector, the energy sector, the Genco and some other things. They're also trying to increase, and that should tell you that there's inflation in the economy.
Worldwide inflation or local inflation?
Of course, there's worldwide inflation, but most of the countries are overcoming it bit by bit. But as it is in the country in Nigeria, we are yet to overcome it, and it's still expanding. You agree with me? The definition of inflation is general hike or increase in price of goods and services. So before, when you have hike in petrol and there are no hike in price of food and some other things, you can't say we have inflation. But this is the real definition of inflation that we are experiencing in the moment. And those people, there's no way, even if they have not officially asked. The reason why they are asking is because, like I told you, there might have been price ceiling, and for them to be able to go beyond that, they need a government approval. So that's why we are getting to know. If not, the normal invisible hands of price will have done the regulation behind the scene before, and they will have been paying more than what we are paying, but because they are limited, and that's why we are getting to know this time. And I'm very sure that government is actually going to approve it for them.
No, but the NCC have come up to tell Nigerians, let me use the word to console Nigeria, that we should not be worried about this proposal. So not for us not to be worried, does that mean they are not going to approve it, or they are going to do some palliative for them?
No, Nigerians have to be managed. Like I told you, they wouldn't have bothered to write. It's because they wrote. That's why you get to know.
To know about it.
That's why you get to know. So when they eventually implement it, they will not tell you again. And I'm even sure that this thing leaked out. That's why we are reading it now. They only need the approval from behind the scene, and they will increase from behind the scene. That has what has always been applicable in Nigeria.
But I feel the NCC is there to protect Nigerians' interests.
Yes, they are. They are to protect the Nigerian interests, because all those operators are supposed to be regulated within the ambit of the NCC law and its regulations and policies there. But the fact is that they are protecting Nigeria. And the fact still remains that even those companies, they are also the highest payers of tax. So if they don't break through, if they don't make profit, they are. If they don't make profits, how do they pay tax to government? So, and we all know, we are aware that the cost of production has so much increased in Nigeria.
Now, you talk about tax, and that's why I asked you, are they really paying tax? And you said they're one of the highest payers of
telecom
tax.
sector, yeah.
Now, apart from high cost of energy, they talked about operation cost of operation. Don't you think the tax from the government is still part of what is making them looking back and forth? Okay, fine, if we can't cope with high cost of energy, the tax is there, why can't we increase our tariff?
Well, operational cost is different to tax. Operational costs we involve labor costs, to running costs. They forgot all those raw materials and some other things, the cost of these servicing machines and some other things, the cost of paying their experts, etc. So those are the operational costs. So it's actually totally different from the tax. Tax is after you have derived your profit, you have deducted all your costs. When you have removed all your costs of production from what you have earned, which is your revenue or your income, what is left after that deduction is the profit, and it is that profit that is taxable. So it's even different, but it has relationship with them, because the higher the profit,
the more the tax.
The more the tax. 30% of the company profit. That's what our tax law says. So when they are declaring more, then the government is also making more. So the government has responsibility to also protect those companies from functioning, because if they are not functioning, if they are not making profits, the government will also be losing. So the government is there as an intermediary to protect both the consumers and also the companies.
So in this particular case now, through the NCC, how do you think the government can wade in to, because look at that of the aviation industry. I know from the very first time the industry have been talking about increment in their air tariff, the government have been trying to wade in. I know there was a time they had a meeting with the operators, and they gave them this license to import this what do you call it, aviation fuel by themselves, but still it's as if that is not solving the problem. So looking at this particular situation, how do you think the government can wade in? Is it by giving them tax waiver, or the government can give them a subsidized rate when it comes to energy consumption? Because energy is in two forms. The government, through the distributor, provide either electrical energy for them, or they can give them a subsidy in terms of diesel purchase. Or what do you think the government can do when it comes to?
Well, subsidy will have been better and will have been realistic, but as it is in the era we have now, we can see that government is trying to move away totally from subsidy, and we are moving systematically to a capitalist state. And if that is the situation, the government may not want to back down on their subsidy removal regime. As we can see, they are not telling us, but we can see that government is not actually interested in paying subsidy again. And you recollect that the reason why we are having issue with the flight fuel is also because government has systematically, in fact, remove a subsidy from oil, the diesel, kerosene, gas, everything. They have successfully removed subsidy, but they were unable to remove on the petrol,
PMS, yeah.
because that's the one that people have their eyes on, and they, okay, if you know this one, let's leave this one for a while, at least let them relax a bit, then we know what we want to do on it. But they have actually removed on others, like the oil we used to service car, before we buy 4,045, now we buy 10,000 naira. That's the least price. Then what about gas? You see the change in the price of gas is because of systematic removal of subsidy. It is the same thing that has affected them since February. Can you imagine? The price of flight has skyrocketed. I'll be traveling in June. I've booked my flight since March, because I'll be going to Abuja in June, and I paid more than 58 or 59,000 naira. If you book ahead before, you'll be paying like 25,000, 24,000 naira. But I see, because I didn't know where it was going, I have to book ahead. The fact still remains that it's not even certain now whether my airline will be working as at the day I want to. So the government actually has to wait in, because it's actually going to affect a lot of things, a lot of businesses, a lot of so it can also crumble the economy. No. So the government has to wait in one way or the other. I agree.
Now you're talking about the impact on the economy. It's very. I think it will interest our listeners to know that among the top 10 states that subscribe to the telecommunication, Oyo State happens to be number 4. Lagos stand out to be number 1 with 16.4 million internet subscribers. Then Ogun State came second with 7.4 million internet subscribers. Then Kano came up third with 6.8 million internet subscribers. Then Oyo State happens to have 6.2 million internet subscribers. So that means we have a good position when it comes to the digital economy. So that means we have a digital prosperity.
Yes.
Now, what will now be the impact of this economically?
We're here to start tapping into what digital economy can provide. But I think it's increasing. Over the weekend, my children were telling me that they want to register for coding, because there was a particular release of a young man that started making so much money through coding online, things like that. We are, as a matter of fact, if we, divert our attention to information technology and digital economy, is enough to be a major substitute for the oil regime.
Yes, yeah.
So if Nigeria will be able to look into that direction and let states of the federation also begin to work underground to improve, they are not difficult, and you will see that the upcoming teaming youth generation, they are already acclimatized with it. The only challenge we have is the elderly ones. They are not digitally mobile, and they are trying to keep.
Wouldn't that be as a result of the cost of the services? Because if you look at it, how much to get an Android phone? Remember during COVID-19, one of the reasons why virtual learning did not fly in Nigeria was because of the cost of data.
Yes.
And over the Western world, you discover that virtual learning is taking the front stage.
Yes.
Even we had case of e-governance, and a lot. Even the Nigeria port system, they came up with is it e-receipt or whatever, and they've been having issues with that. I think I know a particular country that is major source of revenue is ICT, and if you are to look at, we have 19 sector of our economy, and the two major sectors that are thriving, that's giving us good, reasonable GDP, is that of the, apart from the oil,
yes,
is that of the agric and the ICT.
Yes.
And in the ICT, the telecommunication is the key leader there.
Of course.
So with this hike, or this proposed hike, don't you think that will cripple or scare people off? Because when Twitter was banned, We heard stories Nigeria loses billions of dollars and the likes. And if you go online, you see a lot of skits, young people producing skits, a lot of internet business platforms and the like. So what will be the impact of this to the economy, digital economy especially?
Yeah, well, the impact is, as a matter of fact, the GDP of that sector will increase with this, with the increment, with the hike in the
But
cost.
GDP will only increase when there's more patronage. We
That's
have
what-
more subscribers, but won't it drop the number of subscribers we're having?
It will not drop. The reason why it will not drop is that those that needs it will go after it. They are also going to push the effect, the marginal effect of increment on the service they are also providing. So it will go up, and that's actually the effect of inflation. But I agree that we are forcing a wider margin between the rich and the poor further with some of these policies, and we are systematically, removing or eliminating the middle income earner, because if that sector is well developed, it's enough to provide middle income
And I
group
think if I'm to
that
do
we
my
have.
analysis,
Yes.
there are more of the people on the digital platform economy. We have more of the middle income earners and the low income earners on. That's why if you look at the rate of scams and the likes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It is that sector that is bringing back the middle income earner, which our system has forced to withdraw in the past. So now, if that sector is the price is you see that the marginal effect of that price is not that it's too much. Those that are making use of those platforms will not have problem with it, because that is where they also earn their income, and there's a way they will also push it further.
So you are saying that they will now improve their service delivery, the operators of the platform.
They will increase the service delivery, and the fact still remain that it will expand. Don't forget that price mechanism, economics, is used to regulate the economy or the service or the demand and supply itself. So the change in price will affect the change in quantity demanded, like you are saying now. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it will improve that sector, because it's going to improve the profit margin from that sector. It's also going to improve the service delivery of that sector. It's also going to change a lot of things. It's better for the platform or for that sector to be growing. It's a kind of growth, because those people as at now, they are likely to be running at loss or to be operating below optimal level, because of the inflation that will have increased their cost of production at the moment. Because we are all familiar and we can relate with the fact that now the inflation is at a very high rate in Nigeria. There's no way it wouldn't have affected their cost of production, and we need to let them break through too.
But
we don't want them to
the
shut down.
the government has a role in it in terms of the cost of their production? Because if you look at most of the telecommunication, their max, is it max we call it, is being operated majorly by diesel. Don't you think? And if you look at the distribution company, they have three categories. If I'm to be correct, of power distribution, they have one of the,
Generators.
yeah, they have this class they call, is it the 32 or 32 plus, that the service delivery is
Okay.
Can't the government have this kind of like a special dedicated services like electricity to these key sectors, so as to, because not just the telecoms, there are industries that power majorly on diesel 24/7, and that will now impact more on the services or the cost of services they are rendering. Can the government look at, okay, fine, these people, they have a stake in the economy, and their services has a lot to either cause inflation or deflate the economy. So can't we provide this service for them to reduce their cost of energy?
So you are going into some of the foundational problems of the business problem we have in business environment. Electricity is major, and it's one. And I said it is those who don't want Nigeria to succeed that are scared crippling their electricity sector, that don't allow until our electricity sector or energy sector as a whole, don't forget they are part of energy sector, until they begin to function maximally. All these things we are a lot of companies are leaving Nigeria. I don't know if you are reading in the last 2-3, even oil companies. Did you follow up the
in
news?
fact, I've been going through that report. There've been some silent.
Even oil companies, they say they are leaving.
Yes.
And the fact is that is reality. The cost of production is too much. If they are not breaking even, there's no reason for staying behind, and something must happen. Is either they increase their price to take care of the increase in cost of production, or government do something. And as you can see, this government is not ready to do anything when it comes to subsidy again. They are moving away from subsidy era.
Subsidy, that's what I was talking about, a kind of like a dedicated
but the one we have available is not even enough for us. A whole country, more like 250 million people running on 5,000 megawatts.
But there was a time they talk about that we have a capacity. No, capacity is different from generation.
It's different.
We have the capacity of generating close to 10,000 megawatts in this country. But most of our power plants power plant they call it, they are not functional due to
maybe some people didn't make it functional. Then I also remember we have a contract with is it Siemens or something, yes. And what we were told is that by last year August or so, that we will have started seeing the effect on the electricity generation.
And let me just cut you short. You continue with
Yes.
your thoughts. Listeners out there, you can be part of this program. You can call any of this number 091-610-47698, or you can call 081-105-26489, or you call 090-2280-9257. You can call 091-610-47698. You can call any of these lines to be part of the program. So you can continue with your thoughts, what you were saying.
So where did I stop? So there's no way that the cost of production will increase, and the providers will not force it to the price of their own commodity too, if they want to be preserved, if they want to sustain. But without that, they'll be running at loss. And you know what will happen to the economy as well when they are running at loss? The government is losing its taxes. The government is losing opportunity for employment, because they'll be downsizing until they will not be able to take care of anything again. And that's why I'm saying that whatever expansion that is happening now, it is better we accommodate it, or like you said, let government do something to relieve the burden on the producers. Those are that are involved in production, and we must sustain production in every economy.
So do you think
to sustain our GDP or improve it?
Do you think this proposal coming from the telecommunication is sincere and genuine and right as at this particular time?
Yes, I've confirmed that earlier that it's sincere and genuine, and we all know it. And I told you they wouldn't have even informed us if not because there's a price floor on their price.
How do you think Nigerians are going to survive this? Because now we're talking about telecommunication. Almost a lot of Nigerians are on mobile phones. How are they going to survive it? The price of telecommunication is on the increase. Then that of paid TV too is on the increase. Then the discos too. They've been approved increment in their own price. So how will Nigerians meet up with this high price every day?
They will. They are going to adjust their lifestyle. There has been 91% increase in the cost of
let's pick this call.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
I am Primate Shitu.
Okay, sir.
There is no going back. The increasement is justified. There is nothing NCC will do. They will increase it. We will be ready to pay. There is nothing to stop it. Now, look at it very well yourself. We have a government, a nation that knows that for you to establish a business today, you must start by first looking at price control. But the cost of establishing a business is killing price control. The cost of running a business will be killing price control. The cost of operation will kill price control. And look at the situation we find ourselves. Kidnapping, armed robber, no energy, no petrol, no this. 84% of industries today, even the SMEs, the NCC we are discussing, they are running on diesel and petrol, on generators. There is no government support. And when it is like this, what do you expect? Then the biggest one, which the guest has not touched, which we must touch along this discourse, it is the people they are employing. Do you know that the people you employ as gate man, as your manager, as your directors, they also kill companies in Nigeria today. They are the major killer of business. When you employ them, they look up all the way to siphon, all the way to extort you. That one alone is a big problem, and I want the guests to track it every day. What is the way forward? It is until government is ready to give a friendly atmosphere, to give a space to an environment that will create enabling business, that will lure local and international and foreign investors to come here and do business at a peaceable, an environment that is friendly. When things are okay, then we can now fight for price control. But for now, we have lost the fight. Thank you and good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much for that beautiful contribution. You can still be part of this program. You can call 091-610-47698, or you can call 081-105-26487, and you can call 090-22-80-9257. Now, our last caller talked about something which is very, very, it's not just a Nigeria factor, but it's just that there are other advanced countries in the world. They've put check and balance to control staff excesses. How do we look at this? How do we control that in our own local way? Because most times we blame the government for everything. Yes. Imagine you buy diesel, you have to buy diesel of about 180 liters to power your organization, and the guy you saddle with that responsibility is buying 160 liters and giving you a price for 180 liters.
Yes.
So how do you think Nigerians we can control such a situation?
I was telling some people in the last in the training that a time is coming when only people that companies will want to employ are people that have antecedent of integrity, because it is actually staffs. I carried out a research a few years ago, and we discovered that it is actually staffs that cause more of business failure in Nigeria.
Yes, in Nigeria, staffs cause more business
failure because
even from the environment itself.
Apart from people are part of the business environment. They are part of men.
No, this is internal environment.
Internal, that's from internal
environment.
Yes, you are getting it. External environment is there. Even staff as part of internal environment, there are major parts that cause business failure. And what do? Corruption is true endemic.
So that means it's not just the government. When you talk about corruption in Nigeria, yes, it's not just the government side to it.
No, it's not only government. It's becoming a culture. It's becoming a way of life. You see it everywhere, even in the religious institutions, in schools, among those that are learned. You see it everywhere. And then until we have a serious government that can enforce our laws on all those things, we are not supposed to be experiencing election rigging if we go or implement the provisions of the Electoral Act. You see people canvassing for votes on during election. They are supposed to be arrested because it is against the electoral. But who are the people that are supposed to enforce all these things? We have beautiful laws, but we are not enforcing. So, like what he said, if you have business, like I have business, I understand where it's talking from. People are so wicked in this climate. As a matter of fact, at times, like I said earlier, you even go for some Christians. At the end of the day, you discover that they are also the same, like what was done to me last year. So the people, the employers, they are actually tired. They are having it, they are receiving it from the external environment. They are receiving it from the internal environment. How do you cope? Or if until you are choked to die? So that is why you are not saying there are no employment opportunities. You are not saying there is high unemployment. There will continue to be until we address some of these foundational problems with our system.
Hello?
Let's pick this
Systemic
call. Hello.
problems.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I am Stephen calling from Isu Kingdom.
Okay, sir. Briefly, please.
Thank you, Bright. And I want to greet our next luminary. Thank you. You balance well. Yeah, I think you talked about how this economy of Nigeria is today. Am I right?
Yes, you did.
That nothing like control. Yes, somebody said something like that, and I want to comment. It's like inactive husband that is supposed to take care of home, but he couldn't do that. He allowed his home to be insolvent, financially capable. How can he have mouth to talk to his wife? Don't go there. Until we put what to call every factor that can enable this so-called social provider to thrive. Our problem is government. I used to say that until what I said there and what I'm saying now is digested and friendly to people. We see that we know the cause of problem, and we are beating about the bush. That's the problem we have today. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that the problem we have today is about non-standard attitude of government in place. Why are they interested in go to governance if they know that they cannot do it? That's the problem. That's right.
Yeah, thank you very much for that.
Look at the electricity today. This is where you are working. This one I there, buying it. Nobody that together. You must get something. It's a business. That's my point. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you very much for that submission. Now, I just want to ask you, sir. Okay, let's pick this call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Legodi. I'm calling from Bonija.
Okay, go on with your thoughts, sir.
My brother, the major problem we have today is the get rich quick mindset and corrupt mindset of Nigerians. This thing now has cut across everywhere. Even as a private investor, if you establish a company, as soon as you employ somebody, you and that person has become enemy. As you are struggling to make sure you make profit to pay their salaries and increase their welfare, they will be working against you, trying to siphon your money and the rest of it. That's why most people don't invest. Go to government offices, government ministries and parastatals today. If you want to obtain any document, they will not give you receipts. That's why they have inflated the price, and they know how to do it within themselves. That is just a major problem. Thank you
very much for that submission. And I would like to ask, what's the role of the industrial court?
The rules?
The rules of the industrial court.
Industrial court. That's actually, they have special rules when it comes to any conflict of interest or rights of workers under any employers. It has nothing to do with what we are discussing.
I just want to know if
but it only has something to do when there are issues between employers and employees. Maybe the issue of salary, the issue of termination of appointment.
What about this issue of corruption, sharp practices?
No, it does not concern.
So when cases like this come up in the workplace,
yes.
So what do you think the employer should do?
The employer should, if that's why.
And how do you checkmate these excesses?
I will have actually even recommended government to have a special body that will do that. As we all agree now, all the callers have agreed, and they also agree with me that it's one of the internal business environment that is killing businesses in Nigeria. We can create a special body to do that, because as we can see,
in terms of like a court,
like a special court for that.
Okay.
Because it may not that may not fly well with industrial court. You know, it's crime. When a crime is committed, you take them to either the police or EFCC or ICP. Those are the ones that are in charge of that one. And the bureaucratic process of going through the court system will actually always discourage most of the employers from doing that.
Let's see what we have here. Hello. Hello.
Me? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I am begging to be back. The solution we are looking for will not happen in the court anymore. For crying out loud, who can we trust there? But what we should now do is technology. We should use our CCTV cameras, our digital levels. The advancement in technology today will be the only solution. Look at it, for instance. We have been appealing to the Oyo State government, come to this radio station and let us establish a kind of radio security here, where there will be a digital mapping that will have the whole of your state at its fingertip in IBR. And any incident that is happening along the road through digital, you can just capture it. So that is the only solution. Technology, technology, technology. Thank you for allowing me again.
Thank you, sir. We have another caller. Hello. 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 Okay. Just wrap up your thought where our time is fast spent. Now, he said technology. Well,
Yes.
still back to our
Yes,
base where what we're
I
discussing.
I agree with him to some extent, but the fact is, it is also a human being that will be in charge of those technology. We've seen in bank robberies, while when they come back to check the camera, they discover that the camera was off, and at the time robbery was taking place. Who took it off? It's human being. Is it not human being that we operate all those things? Is it not human being that we check it? So we have found ourselves a major problem in our society now because of the value system that has crashed. We all continue to pay for it until government is able to do the right thing to bring the value system back.
So now, in summary, you okay this proposed hike in the price of telecommunication?
No, it's necessity. There's nothing we can do about it for now because those companies, organizations, they must succeed for government to succeed, for our people to continue to have employment and some other things. So it's normal. There's no way, there's nothing they can do without doing that because of the cost of production that has also increased because of inflation.
That's how much we'll take on the program to the economy today. Reaching you live from Impact Business Radio, Ibr92.5 FM. My name remains Bright Richard.